Guys, how you doing? I hope you're all well. Hope you are all good. Now, a few weeks ago, I was speaking to you very briefly about getting my hands on this, which is Sonic Mania Plus, which comes with the artwork. Also comes with the fantastic inlay that you can change to make it look like a Mega Drive game of old. But the question was basically, what is it that Sonic Mania Plus brings to the table? What is the difference between this and the Sonic Mania, which was released as a digital-only copy only months ago? Is it worth getting the hard copy, or is it actually just another buying ploy from the people at Sega that want to try and squeeze more out of Sonic while we can? Time to find out. Now, we're all familiar with rattling our brains through going through all the early levels as early as possible, as fast as possible, on the iconic games such as Sonic 1, having the ability to go head-to-head or play alongside your partner in crime, Tails, in Sonic 2, going up against Knuckles with the help of Tails in Sonic 3, and jumping around like a gibbon on Sonic Spinball. Sonic returned after a disastrous point of time on PlayStation with some very forgettable games for the wrong reasons, such as Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Forces on the PlayStation 2. But returned to 360 in a way in which some people, it divided the opinions of many people, and some thought this had gone way away from where it should be. Others thought it was bright, fast, enigmatic, and brought Sega back and Sonic to the way it should be. But after that, it kind of went a slightly different route and decided to celebrate its way in the way of Sonic Generations. And while Sonic came back with Sonic Generations, showing old school Sonic versus new current Sonic, it again moved away from the way it used to be, in the way in which this screen would move around from left to right, up and down, and go pretty fast very quickly. But again, this was something which divided and separated everybody looking at Sonic as it should be. So with such a varying array of success and defeat with the Sonic games, from the Mega Drive and Master System and Game Gear onto the PlayStation, where some would say it never happened, it never worked in the way it should have done, and then in between it was split and divided beyond through the masses as to if it was a success on the 360 or PlayStation 3. The question remains at this point in question, how does this one stack up against the rest? So here we are now with Sonic Mania. I'm going to go and explain the differences between Mania and Encore. The Encore mode is basically the Mania Plus DLC. But one of the nice things I like about the way they've set the game up here, very simply, is the fact that you have the option to change the system and set the way the picture looks on the screen. By changing the filter, it allows you to have the screen the way you want it. If you want to have a current HD kind of look and feel to it, you can do that. If you want to take it old school and put it onto CRT, you can do that, which actually gives you greater pixelization on the screen, whether you want a CRT sharp or if you want a CRT soft. That in itself gives you the option to change the way the screen is set up. It's a nice little touch, kind of brings home the nostalgia a little bit more before you've even started playing the game. Onto the game itself, playing in Mania mode. You have the setup of Sonic 3, where you can start numerous new games. In this game, you'll be able to be introduced to two new characters, Ray, the flying squirrel, and Mighty, the echidna. But we'll come back to those two later on because they are purely for Mania. Going back now to the original game, as you can see, it starts pretty much just like Sonic 3. With Tails flying you into the exact same island. Now, whereas you would have been met here by Knuckles, as you'll remember in Sonic 3, Knuckles is not here at this point. It's Dr. Robotnik and his cronies, as always, causing nothing but mischief, mayhem, and taking what you like to see, which is the emeralds. So looking at the screen straight from the get-go, besides the negative picture colours, you can see that just like Sonic 1, Green Hill Zone is back, and pretty much everything is exactly as it should be and where it is. There are some subtle changes throughout the game in terms of what happens and how you can play it. However, the biggest difference is how you now collect gems emeralds, and how you get your bonus levels, which I'll show you now. So as you're always going to remember, in order to try and get things on Sonic 3, you had to go through this minefield, which I'm not particularly good at. That hasn't changed. However, getting the emeralds has. Now, before I show you the level as to how you get the emeralds on this game, you'll notice that the life systems that you have on this is exactly the same as it always has been on Sonic games. However, with Mania Plus, that will change, and I'll come back to that to you shortly. But first, let's show you how to get emeralds on this game. The emerald system has changed a little bit. You now have to run and you have to literally chase the emerald. In order to get hold of the emerald, you need to get as many of the blue balls as possible, which helps increase your speed. However, you can do nothing without having the gold rings as well. So you can see at the top, the Mac level shows the speed at which you're able to run, but without the number of coins there, if you run out of coins, it comes to an end. So you have to basically watch where you're going and be able to catch as many of the things you can as possible in order to have any chance of actually securing the emerald. Now this is the first level, so it's fairly straightforward and fairly easy. It doesn't take a lot of hard work, but as you do progress through it, you'll find that the challenge will become harder to actually chase down and hunt down the emerald. This should be done fairly easy on this first level, and I should have it within the next couple of corners if I just get enough rings, which is fairly straightforward and easy. So it is an easier system. So, back now to the main title. I've gone on to Encore mode, where you can see our two new friends trapped in a box there. You can see Ray, and you can see Mighty. And we're going to explain what they do and what they're all about. Going into Encore mode, again, the same kind of setup as Sonic 3. You can start a new game and go straight into it. And whereas Sonic Mania will start you off on Green Hills, which is, everyone knows, is Sonic 1. Sonic Mania Plus takes you to Sonic 3, the beginning of Sonic 3. Again, there's the Emerald, lifelong friend. So you start with Angel Island, just as you would on Sonic 3. No Knuckles here on this point at all, and this level, to be fair, it's fairly circumstantial. There's not a lot that goes on, but it does bring you to a nice introduction of your new mates. Everything that was in the same place on Sonic 3, pretty much still there now. So it is literally like home from home. And here we are. There's that cage. So, probably the easiest thing Sonic's ever had to do in his entire life, but what does he have to do now? On his left, he has Ray. On his right, he has his friend Mighty. He has to make a decision as to who he's going to team up with at the beginning of this game. Right now, we're going to show you all about his happy little friend, Ray. Let's see what Ray is all about. So, because you've chosen Ray, Mighty's out of the picture at the moment. We will come back and see what happens when you choose Mighty. But for now, let me introduce you to Ray. This is Ray. He's a happy-go-lucky squirrel. A flying squirrel. A very funny looking flying squirrel. Ray is fast, but he has got the ability to fly, which is something that Sonic cannot do. Now, Ray's abilities do come in handy for certain parts of the game, and you'll see that as you fly through. And here we are back at Green Hill, so we have now gone back to Sonic 1 again. Again, it looks slightly different, but whereas you now have the ability to use Ray to fly, you also have something which you didn't have before in previous games. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see that you no longer have a number of lives. What you basically have now is the ability, as you're playing the game, to let you just stop what you're doing and tag the next one in. So now, as you can see, I'm now using Sonic, and if I choose to go back to using Ray, or had I chosen Mighty, I can simply tap back when he's back in, and I can now use can now use Ray. I'm also going to show you what the difference is in terms of getting your emeralds on this game and your secret levels also, which is something you can choose to do, which you'll need to do in order to finish the game. As you can see, Ray can avoid a lot of enemies by flying past them. But now let's see what we can do with regards to the actual ring missions and getting those emeralds. So, the way to get the emerald is exactly the same, only it's a little bit more confusing and complicated than this time around. You have got more obstacles to try and get through. You have got more things in the way that will hinder your ability to get to the next level, having to jump over ramps, having to try and get coins. This one you're having to try and chase it, and you can see it's a fair mile off. So you have to make sure you are really paying attention as to where you're going. Whether I'm going to get this one or not remains to be seen. It is tricky, you can fall off very easily. That seems to have sped me up, so that's come in handy. However, if you do run out of rings and you don't get enough in time, you will never get there in time. So you do have to make that conscious decision as to which one to go for. Or if you're going to go for rings. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to get it this time round, but you get the idea as to how to do it. It is complex, it is difficult, it is going to take a lot of time and skills. But I've kept it very similar. And the special stage has also changed. So no longer are you now running around, you're now back in pinball. You're now playing something very similar to Sonic's pinball, where you can actually pick things up. And you can spend a lot of time in here. It's almost like a second game in its own entirety. You have the full ability to flip the pins, one or the other, whichever one you feel fit. And you can literally spend so much time in here. I was playing this and I actually forgot I was playing a different game altogether. But it's that good. It could be a game in its own entirety, where you've got the grabber and you choose what you want to pick up, and what you pick up becomes one of your alloys later on down the line. So I just picked up Knuckles, which I'm quite happy with. And again, like I said, I could play this all day, but I'm not going to, because, well, yeah, let's just let him go down the hole for now, and we'll go back to the gameplay at hand. So now, you've seen how you can get things on this, and you've seen what Ray is all about. I think it's time we introduced you to Mighty. Let's see what Mighty is all about. So this time, we're back at the thing now. I'm able to show you what it's all about. It's exactly the same thing. You've got the choice of the two. You've got Ray there, who's ecstatically happy, and you've got Mighty. And here again, you have to make the choice. Last time, I chose Ray, the flying squirrel. This time, we're going with Ray to see what Ray is all about. Sorry, Mighty. I chose Ray last time. We're going with Mighty. We're going to see what Mighty is all about. So off goes Ray, courtesy of Dr. Robotnik's machine, takes the emerald, and away he goes. Now, Mighty the Echidna, who I'll choose here for you, is as fast as Sonic. He looks like Sonic and Shadow been banging, or Knuckles and Shadow been banging, but Sonic cannot do this. So as you can see, there are certain things there that Mighty has the strength to do. He's able to do these things. He's stronger than Sonic. He's just as fast, but he's physically stronger, hence the name Mighty. To add to the game, not only are there just 2 more characters, but there are at least another 5 levels that have been added to this game as well. So, there you go. That's a pretty broad overview of what the game is about. Obviously, as you were aware, Sonic Mania came out in August last year. Sonic Forces, many feel, didn't live up to the hype and felt it was more of a lazy option from the Sonic team. came out later that year in November. Sonic Mania Plus came out July this year, and many people questioned, myself included, if it was worth the money or hassle, or if they were just peddling the same thing like an overpriced iPhone. However, I can tell you from playing the game that with the new characters, with the new levels, including my favourite level of Sonic 3, which is Chemical Plant, the music is still there, the speed is still there, the characters are fun, the way you can tag other characters in rather than having to rely purely on Sonic to do things. You're able to do that and chop and change them as you wish. You've got Knuckles, you've got Ray, you've got Mighty, you've got Tails, you've got Sonic. All the fun is there, the colours are there. It's much better than what was there previously on the PlayStation and Xbox, PlayStation 2 back in the day. It is an improvement on what they brought out on the 360, even though I was perfectly happy with the werewolf in Sonic Unleashed and happy with having the nuances of playing old school or new school Sonic on Generations. However, I will say to you, if you are going to get this game, I do strongly urge you get Sonic Mania in the hard copy. You get the Plus version. You have, as I said, got the artwork. You have got this amazing coloured box that comes with it. People have said this is one of the best Sonic games to come out in many, many years. I'm going to have to go along with that. I haven't enjoyed a Sonic game so much since Sonic 3. You have all the attributes of Sonic 3, you have all the gameplay of Sonic 1, you have all the additional parts in terms of online gameplay with your colleagues, whether it be 2-player or 4-player competition mode, which you can play head-to-head, very similar to the 2-player mode of Sonic 2 back in the day, but with a wider screen, albeit. And you also have the ability there to chop and change other players as and when you see fit. For me, Sonic Mania Plus is a definite thumbs up. It's a definite addition you need to have for your collection, whether you're just a retro gamer or new school. For me, it's a big win.